All right. Good morning, everyone. Today is October 8th. I don't know why. I thought that was open, but it looks open, but it's shut. But anyway, good morning, everyone. Hopefully, you guys are all doing good. I'm a little late, but you know what? Whatever. All right. So let's get Trade of 8 pulled up right here on my personal. As always, I got the control panel now. Meaning, I have my phone set up in a stand in the top left, so I can just execute on my phone for my personal account, which is hype. And let's get Top Step pulled up, and then we'll look and see if there's news, and then we'll go from there. So, yeah. All right. Looks like daily loss limit on that account is set. Okay. Yeah, daily loss limit on that account is set. Oh, wow, what the heck? My computer just went really slow. Alright. Okay. That's it up. Alright, now let's check news. So, and let me put my daily loss limit on my personal. It should be good now. Actually, just hang on one more second. Okay, got it set up now. Hey, what up, Snowman? Good morning. So, let's go ahead and check for news. I got the account set up. That took a little bit. As always, it kind of takes a little bit, but yeah, let's go ahead and start charting things up. Guys, patience is it's the cornerstone of trading. I thought discipline was the cornerstone of trading, but patience, dude. Patience is the cornerstone. Discipline is important, very important. But like, I don't know. It's weird because I thought patience might actually be more important than discipline in trading. Because like, I feel like I've been pretty disciplined for quite some time now with my trading. like I don't tilt really, but patience, that's different. And I feel like most people don't realize that how important patience is. All right, we got this red folder news in the afternoon. Let's open up Discord. And yeah, like I said, such a big part of trading is just chilling out and watching price. Like Kirk says, you got to be like a cat. As funny as that sounds, you got to be like a cat. You going to make money today? We're gonna try, man. We're gonna try. I'm already looking at. I already glanced at the charts, and we've got. I feel like a good, pretty good liquidity pool. In our sights right now, so we might get something down or towards it. So, all right. So yeah, FOMC meeting minutes. Let me make sure I know how to calculate my risk. Before I start charting things up, I want to make sure I know how to calculate my risk because I changed it, right? So this is going to be 1 micro. So if it says 1, that means I'm risking 1 micro. That means I'm doing 20 micros. It means I'm doing 5 micros as for my standardized risk. 20 micros on Top Step. Okay. And then if it said 0.8, it would be not quite 1 micro on personal. 4 micros of my standard size risk. 16 micros on Top Step. If it said like 1.2, 1 micro on personal. 6 micros of my standard size, and then 24 micros on Top Step. So I'm gonna get the hang of it, but I just wanted to make sure I kind of had that under control. So that's good. So let's start charting things up and talk about what we got going on. So let's start top down as always. So, okay. I guess, yeah, let's start top down. So, the first thing that stands out to me, guys, is honestly that we had a pretty strong displacement move lower that broke this low. Now, who knows? Maybe we do actually go higher, but let's measure this out. Yeah, this is a pretty decent size liquidity pool here. So at the very least, let's say even if we don't come down here, I would think rebalancing this fair value gap could be in the cards. And we had SMT with YM. You can see that right here. That fly is just never gonna leave me alone. And this is yeah. I'm just gonna mark it out as a regular SMT. I don't want to have to spend time if it's sequential SMT or not. So we might have higher time frame AMD and lower time frame AMD. What do I mean by that? Well, this looks like accumulation. Now manipulation, and then maybe distribution. And now on the lower time frame, we've kind of had our own accumulation, manipulation. So could be time and price could be aligned here. So I'm going to mark out the gap like this. Now I'm just going to put this in my general section, just a possibility. Nice, 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 nice. I like it. Yeah, on the, it's bullish, obviously, as far as higher time frame. I might need to figure out a way to take out this fly, dude. This has been an issue for like a while now, and it's not leaving. So I guess let's put this in general. In my journal. This is kind of what I see right now. Oh, let's also include true week open. Yeah, so that's interesting. So here's the true week open. You see how we manipulated that and induced this high? Okay. Back to the 4 hour. Alright, I'm starting to really like this. So this is Monday, 18 o'clock, true week open. Alright, so dropping down time frames. Let's take a look at midnight. Right, we already manipulated this high with a nice little SMT here. This is obviously a manipulation leg because look, we took out the true week open. It was obvious AMD. So this projection is going to be strong. You can see that 4 standard deviation lines with that liquidity pool. So yeah, basically that's what I'm looking at. This looks really clean, guys. I mean, super solid idea here. We are definitely at the 2nd standard deviation already. So honestly, we could maybe just take a 15-minute change in state out of this. I might just do that. It's a simple trade, but hey, I'm all for simple, man. Then again, patience. Where's midnight? Yeah, we're above midnight. Let's see if this is in a dealing range. Sometimes it feels like I do not have enough time to get everything set up before the market starts moving, which is always annoying, but okay, we gotta pull it up one. I want to see if liquidity sweep occurred there. Ooh. Close. Is there an RTH gap? So 58 is where the current price is. Let's see if there's one below. I don't think there is. Oh, all the way down here. So yeah, basically the RTH gap is going to close exactly where we are right now, which is not telling us a whole lot. We do have quadruple equal lows here. Like a whole bunch of equal lows. And we also have a propulsion block that I would noticed in the pre-market. I think it's, yeah, like this and then this and then where's midnight? Yeah, we definitely manipulated midnight. And then looking like we're having SMT here. Maybe with London High. So SMT at the top of this gap. Now 7:30 just opened. Not necessarily just open, but it's been open. Let's see if this was a 2022 gap. Or let's see if this was in the fair value gap partition. It was. You can see that fair value gap was in the 2022 partition. That's pretty cool. See how perfectly that was in that fair value gap partition? That's crazy. Okay. Let's look at NDOGs and NWOGs. Oh my gosh. That was such a sniper entry. It was a fair value gap partition tapping the NDOG. That's pretty cool. So yeah, we've kind of already manipulated the true week open. Was this a time-based SMT? We're getting I think 90-minute SMT with this high. So 7. Oh man, maybe it's not 90-minute SMT. Oh no, with wait. No, it is with this high. Maybe this is Dark Phoenix. Oh my gosh, could you imagine if this was another Dark Phoenix? Because here's a rejection block. We've got two different SMTs, and NASDAQ just swept the rejection block, and S&P's pushing into it. So imagine if this is the exact high again. That'd be crazy. Imagine if this was the exact high again. Like right here. Imagine if it was. It could be. This could be the exact high once again. Right? It could be. That'd be crazy if this was the exact high right here. What if this could be the exact high right here? Oh my gosh. What if? But the difference between this is... Yeah. So yeah, it wasn't an obvious rejection block. What's the buyer's target? I just did, Gary. I just did. I went top down. I already did high time frame analysis. Look. We have S&T with this high with YM. We swept the true week open. We broke this low. We formed a 4-hour for value gap. We have accumulation with this, measured this range out. This is a liquidity pool. I'm expecting this move lower. You frame out this. You project out this order block with SMT. This order block from here to here projects perfectly to the second standard deviation, and the fourth lines up with the liquidity pool. And then taking this 4-hour gap, we swept out midnight. We have SMT here, SMT here. True session open got swept. True day open got swept. We might need to take the true day open one more time, and if so, we might get 90-minute SMT to soup that. So yeah, I've done all the high time frame analysis. So we might need to soup this. Where are we going for buys? I'm personally bearish. But for buys, what's the buyer's target? But yeah, I like this projection of this order block right here. Right? Because the order block, you can see, projects perfectly. If I project this out, it projects perfectly to this second standard deviation. And then the fourth standard deviation aligns with this liquidity pool. So, I like this target for sells. And you can see we actually have triple equal lows. Quadruple equal lows right here. So, I see this as A, M, D. So I'm gonna be waiting for us to probably maybe take midnight one more time. And then if there's an obvious entry, then I'll maybe take something. If there's not an obvious entry, then I might not take anything. Kirk, you're not first, bro. You're not first. You're like fourth, bro. You're like fourth. But yeah, you can see we have like quadruple equal lows. And we already had this pretty obvious manipulation of this high at all-time highs with displacement. So I'm personally leaning bearish because I want to see continuation. We hit the second standard deviation. I kind of want to see us continue to the fourth. Then again, is it possible that we need to actually sweep this high again? Yes. So we have to be very careful. I'm not saying that we can't, go higher. We might. It's also possible maybe we need to rebalance this price leg, right? But I'm probably personally, from my own personal risk preference, I'm personally going to be looking for shorts. That's just what I want to do because I'm leaning bearish because of this displacement. We might need to rebalance the equilibrium. That would be a pretty nice confluence to go to get continuation to this fourth. But I have this framed as a sell model personally. So you guys can go for buys if you want. I'm looking for shorts personally. Now, not financial advice. Nothing ever says financial advice. But that's just what I'm looking at. But yeah, it's pretty cool how we did make this is very possibly high of the week from a weekly profile standpoint, right? Monday accumulated. Think about it. Yeah, it's true. It's true. Think about it from a weekly profile standpoint. Monday accumulates. Tuesday manipulates. Wednesday, I could see Wednesday being part of distribution. Right? Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Bro, okay, here's the thing. Right? Let's actually put this in possible weekly profiles because this actually could be a weekly profile. We've had manipulation of this high with SMT, with YM here. So let's actually zoom out. So from a weekly profile standpoint, I could see this being a classic expansion week to the downside, personally. But that's just what I think. Obviously, disagree with me, please, because that's the whole point of trading, is to be able to think for yourself. Got it. Bro, that fly was annoying the crap out of me. That was crazy how I killed that fly. Kirk, that fly was not my guardian angel. That thing was a demon, bro. That thing was a demon. It was flying around me. It's been flying around me, honestly, since last week, dude. What is the fly? Why is that fly still here? We just took midnight, by the way. Oh my gosh. Kirk, that fly was not it. Yo, this rejection block actually is kind of clean, and if we're having SMT with it, this could be Phoenix. This actually might be Phoenix. The type of trade this could definitely be Phoenix. And why do I say this? Because we're getting 90-minute SMT. The fly's gone, bro. That fly, it's no more. Okay, guys, I really actually think this Phoenix could actually be good. We have a pretty clear 15-minute rejection block. We just took midnight. We just took 7:30. And I think the simplest thing to do is you could take this as a regular Phoenix model. I prefer to wait for confirmation because, there you go. It failed. Right? But what I was saying is I prefer to wait for a flow state off of it. That's a safe way to trade Phoenix, is to say, okay, I'm just going to wait for a flow state off of it. And so that's kind of why you can see that already failed. And so if I only got one trade a day, a lot of time I want to play it safe. So I'll just wait for flow state off of it. So now we might get this 15-minute change state delivered to the upside. That looks super bullish for the short term. Once again, I'm still bearish. I want to see probably us rebalance to equilibrium, maybe even take the true week open, and then 10 a.m. expansion to the downside. So I have I don't feel bad about this at all. We need some manipulation personally. Right now I see this as high resistance liquidity. But if we come up, take equilibrium, maybe tap true week open, and then get 10 a.m. expansion to the downside, and this high resistance liquidity turns to low resistance, dude, I'm so in. What up, Etsy? How's it going, bro? We're locked in. What do you think about TGR in this trading model? I trade it, bro. I literally take it all the time. It's a 2022 model. It's the same exact thing. It's a real model. It's a real thing. You can see it in the charts everywhere, right? Basically, Like for instance, liquidity sweep. It's like so obvious. Liquidity sweep, break of this high, right? Fair value gap. You can see this was also a rebalance too. Equilibrium. You see this model is everywhere, right? And then you can get crazy RR out of this. So yes, TGR's model is valid 100%. He's not a scammer. He's a good trader. Now sometimes he's a little crazy trader, but I'm sometimes a crazy trader. So it's just part of being a trader. You kind of end up going a little crazy. So. But yeah, TGR, his model is muy legit. Yeah. Yeah, there we go. I think that this change in state off of this high resistance liquidity will expand us higher, especially because this is also at market open. Once again, though, with us being above the true session open, above midnight, I'm honestly anticipating reversal to turn this into low resistance liquidity. That's honestly what I want. It's possible that we actually use this 15-minute fair value gap to reject price. That's actually an interesting idea. I might actually look for something like that, where this 15-minute fair value gap could reject price. If we get something like that, I'm not opposed to it. Remember this original fair value gap, by the way? You know what's probably gonna happen? This 5-minute gap's 2022 gap. It's been reclaimed. It's been reclaimed now. We just reclaimed it, and we just swept this high into it. All right, guys, I'll take this if we get it. 5-minute reclaimed 2022 gap. And this is also in the gold block partition. So like right on this change in state retest. Now then again, I don't want to mess up. But I think very possibly on this change in state retest could deliver price lower. I'm going to be a little thoughtful though. But this is the type of trade that when it taps this change in state, it could go to 8R. Just a thought. But the reason I like this 2022 gap, and we don't need to rush into anything, right? But the reason I like this is because it's in the gold block fair value gap. See this? Fair value gap is in the fair value gap partition perfectly. So I actually like that a lot. And it's reclaimed because you can see we used it here, but now we're pushing up into it again, sweeping this high. So honestly, I'm not going to take this, but I will tape read it just because it's a little too tight of a stop loss and higher our trade, more than maybe for what I'm going for the amount of conviction I have in it. But I will tape read this, right, where we have 30-second change in state. So let's just tape read this. We actually already used the wick, so you could already be in. Alright, I'm just going to tape read this. We just hit OTE probably as well. Yeah, see, like I said, it's a little too risky of a trade for me, so I didn't want to take that. So once again, highly resistant. All this is high resistant right now. We might, once again, I want to align time and price. I did not think time and price was aligned with that, so I didn't take that. We still have this 4-hour fair value gap. Market did just open, by the way, guys, so you can see we're getting that expansion higher. This blue line is equilibrium of the displacement leg lower. So I definitely am very interested to see this equilibrium get tapped. Then maybe we come up, sweep the true week open one last time. That would be kind of cool. And then at that point, it would be very clear that this would be A, M, and then maybe D. Once again, I want to. This is high resistant right now, but I honestly want to see this become low resistant later on. Well, look at this. Look at this difference between YM here. So this could be the Judas swing. Something to consider is we do have this breaker right here. We can drop down into it, find the Reaper gap. Right, so the Reaper gap is right here. So this could be very sensitive. This could be very sensitive. Maybe we need to use this one. Not sure. Either one of these could be sensitive. This one's more likely to be sensitive. So equilibrium of that just tapped. Once again, just waiting for something obvious. Right now, personally, nothing obvious. Now, if you were bullish, like honestly, that's totally valid. If you're bullish, once again, do your own research and your own bias. But if you're bullish, let's just get rid of everything for a second. If you're bullish, there was this maybe 15-minute inversion. Just looking around. There was probably things you could take. I'm still looking at these triple equal lows and saying within the sweep that we had on Tuesday of the all-time highs, I kind of want to see continuation on Wednesday to go run those triple equal lows. That's kind of what I'm thinking. So yeah, this is probably going to be the most obvious area for a Reaper. If the Reaper is going to hold, which I don't know if it would, this would be the most obvious area for that Reaper to hold. So yeah, I'm just at this point, guys. It's just a patience game. We're waiting for something obvious. Until we get something obvious, I just chill and do nothing, and there's nothing obvious yet for me. At least there wasn't within my bias. Which is just, maybe if you're bullish, then it's fine. I don't know. We did rebalance that RTH gap. Okay. So that's a reason for you to have been bullish. But we've definitely rebalanced the equilibrium of this price leg. Once again, I'm very interested in seeing continuation lower at this point. YM, you can see YM is already having the dump of its life. So I guess I'm just waiting here. There's not much to this, guys. There's not much to this. I just kind of sit and wait, and if there's something obvious, then cool, but I'm not going to do anything until then. You can see we use this 5-minute gap well. Theoretically, you could have taken 30-second change in state out of it if that was your bias and that you had conviction in that idea. You can see that ended up playing out nicely right after market open for 1.5. Once again, 5-minute gap, A, M, D. If that was your bias, that wasn't my bias. But I don't know, that we just gotta learn, right? So maybe I should have been bullish. But okay, so hopefully you guys understand this, right? We sweep midnight, we get a little tiny range, sweep of the low below midnight, and then 30-second change in state out of this. So we could continue here, right? So nice little A. M, D. Honestly, I would not be surprised if we do continue, at least in the short term. But do you see how everything is just AMD? Everything in these markets is AMD. Okay. Well, clearly this was high resistance, and I guess clearly the move today was to use this high resistance liquidity as a confluence to take a long. Clearly that was the case. So, you know, these equal lows, maybe they were just pseudo equal lows, meaning like they look like a good draw on liquidity, but really it's high resistance. So, they're basically getting people to go short to take out stop losses higher, right? So right now, so this was high resistant. You can see that right here. Every time we push down into it, it's failing. Whenever you see high resistant liquidity, usually what is that, guys? Propulsion blocks. So to prove it to you, right? So I guess this whole thing is OB. So whenever you have high resistant liquidity, it's going to be propulsion blocks are going to be there in nature, right? It's just kind of how it goes. So OB, and then so this is the series of down close candles right here. That's an OB, and then right here, this is a PB, right? So order block off of an order block is a propulsion block. And so you can see how we take out these equal lows into the propulsion block. So if your bias was bullish, you could have taken this 5-minute propulsion block and gone for a 30-second change in state off of this. And then 30-second change state would have propulsed, I don't know if that's a word, but propulsion you higher. So yeah, 30-second change in state. That would have occurred. Let's see here. There's one right here. I don't like that one that much. Personally, I like this a little bit more. And then you can see the wick of that was the better entry. And then propulsion block, bang. If we project out that manipulation. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 standard deviations. We'll probably continue in the same direction as of right now. So for those who don't get it, right? You see how everything is just pushing into this high resistant trend line, right? We keep failing and pushing down into this. That means that basically people trying to short think this is low resistance, but it's not. And it's actually high resistance. So what's going to happen when eventually these people trying to short, eventually it's all going to explode in their face. When that happens, it's going to be an explosion of stop losses to the upside. And so that's what I mean when I say when the market's high resistant, it's going to have an order block, a propulsion block. We aggressively sweep this low, react off of this propulsion block. It's a 5-minute propulsion block. So what do we look for? 30-second change in state. There was one here once again. Could you take that? Yeah, but it's not my favorite type of way to take this. I would have waited for a change in state where I could get better risk to reward, and then yeah, you can see here that we get better risk to reward off of this change in state. And then you can enter like this. Bang, bang. And then you can see how you get onside with this propulsion block and then bang. Right? That's how you could take this. Oh my gosh. I don't know, man. Maybe we won't get anything. I don't know. I'm just watching. I'm just here for my live trading window. And if there's not anything, then there's not anything, and there's not much I can do. And that's just kind of me just showing, part of doing the job is just showing up and saying, hey, what's the opportunity? From this point of view, it's kind of hard to be bearish now because there's no AMD. There's no AMD unless I take a high time frame trade, like unless I take this 4-hour change in state, which it could work actually, but it is going to tap in the first percent for value gap. Oh, good point. This is something to keep your eye on though, this 4-hour change in state, because if the market is bearish, if it is at all, this 4-hour change in state, that's kind of where its last hope is, honestly. If it does not hold this 4-hour change in state, then it's probably just not bearish, and I'm just wrong. once again, where's that true week open? So we've taken the true week open into this 4-hour change in state. No, we have not taken the true week open. Psych, true week open. True week open's all the way up here. Oh, wow. So actually, we might need to come up to this Reaper gap instead, actually. Something to watch for is this Reaper gap, actually. We might need to watch for this. It's going to tap the first... Let's look at the first presented for value gap. Where is it, anyway? Oh, yeah. The first presented for value gap was... $9.29. So this is... What a weird situation. What? Wait. Where's the 9:30 candle? Alright. I don't know. There's no 9:30 candle. That's just... weird. Okay. Well, I guess I'll consider this the first presented for value gap then. So yeah, we did get change in state out of this. This was nice. If you took this, good job. I honestly didn't see it. But bias was bullish at this point. Actually, what you could do is you could take this change in state right here, but then enter on the wick. This is probably a better way to take this. So first presented for value gap, 15-second change in state, wick, entry. So there we go. The Reaper is getting tapped right now. So you can see how this ended up delivering us higher. We probably tapped the fourth standard deviation now. Yeah, we're in this max extension area. The max extension area is also at this Reaper gap. Now then again, max extension of the first limit for value gap trades, a lot of time it's not the fourth standard deviation. A lot of time it's the 8th or the 7th. Yeah, so much of trading is just letting it be. If there's nothing you see, then you just don't do anything, and that's not easy. This could be the high, though, by the way, guys. This could be the high. The reason I say that is because it's a Reaper for value gap. That's why. It's that simple. Like, I just see it as a Reaper gap. So, yeah, it might be the high. It is possible. We're above midnight. We're above 7:30. So it's a 15-minute Reaper gap. So, or maybe you could consider a 5-minute Reaper gap. Yeah, honestly. 5-minute implied Reaper gap. Okay. I kind of like that. 5-minute implied Reaper gap. So let's just say 30-second change of state off of it could be good. Yeah. Then again, it's market's super bullish. I don't know. You gotta be careful with a short at this point. Probably want to wait for higher time frame confirmation. But it's something we can look at. Yeah, guys, this is where I just kind of say, okay, I patience is key, and if there's not opportunity, then there's not opportunity. So I still think it's possible we could go lower here, but we'll see. Oh, you know what would be interesting? Okay, now we're using this Reaper again. You know, it'd be interesting. So this is a 4 hour gap. Okay, this is an interesting idea. 4 hour gap right here. Is there a new day opening gap or a new week opening gap at the top? This little tiny one. There's a tiny little one up there. I don't know about it. I don't know. Okay, is there just like a regular hourly volume imbalance? These are areas that I would think that the market could it could top there. Yeah, I mean this right here, it's a candidate. It's a candidate, not necessarily saying it's going to be the top, or not necessarily saying anything, right? And I'm definitely, at this point, I'm definitely definitely more sidelined at this point, because clearly my bias was offside, and so I might actually just lay down for now because I don't want to force anything. You never want to, you know, you just want to be in a constant relaxed state, and I feel like I'm not. So I might just chill out for a bit, go relax, and then if I'm watching the charts and I see something, then cool. But if not, then nothing. So I'm gonna do that. That's kind of how you have to be as a trader. Is you just have to be chill, totally chill. So like yeah, like you guys be like, why are you doing that? That's so dumb. Why are you allowing yourself to chill? Why are you laying down? Because bro, this game, trading is literally about relaxing. It's literally about relaxing. It's literally about just being just chill and then saying, oh, that's an opportunity right there. Instead of over analyzing the charts and saying, oh, this is a trade no. Those trades always fail. The ones that work, it's so funny. The trades that usually work, I'm like so tired. Like I'm just laying down. I'm like, whoa, that's nice, and then I hit it, and then those are the ones that work. That's what you have to understand. That's why I'm gonna go chill out now because I'm aware of the fact that right now this is a condition where I force something because it's just nothing is obvious. So I'm just gonna chill out. But it's not that there weren't opportunities today, guys. It's not that there weren't opportunities. There were, um, but it was kind of against my bias, and so that's okay. You can see this was not low resistance. This was high resistance. That's my bad. I should have been more aware of that. That this was going to be high resistance. Kind of thought that we were going to go down those equal lows, but clearly you can see this is high resistant liquidity. Something to just keep in mind. Like, you might think something's low resistance, guys. It looks low resistance, but it might actually be high resistant. You took the longs? Good job, Shaney. Good job, bro. It's awesome. So yeah, you can see this looked low resistance for me, but you can see clearly in hindsight, this is high resistant. Dang, dude. I don't know how you do it. That's crazy. Anyway, I'm just going to go back to chilling because I'm just going to, at this point, I don't know. You kind of just have to be okay with if there's no, if you don't get anything, right? So what's interesting, guys, yo, any trades? Congrats, Haney. Thanks, mate. Nah, you need to figure out why you keep being outside. I don't think it's wise to short anything on NQ. Bro, I think it's fine. I just naturally I'm bearish, bro, because I just like trying to. I don't know. I like trying to fade everyone. I think we're gonna go lower, guys. You like you have to realize you have to have conviction in what you think. If you don't have conviction in what you think, then you're not trading, you're changing your mind, and that's not good. Like, okay, sure, a lot of people might not agree with me about like me being bearish. Fading everyone is wild. Seriously, wild. What do you mean wild, bro? No, 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 no. It's not wild, bro. It's just, it's common sense. If most people are long, like, smart money's doing the opposite of most people, right? Okay, what I'm trying to get at, guys, is you have to have conviction in what you think. If you don't have conviction in what you think, then there's no way to be profitable. So I don't have regrets. It's not my fault that I was wrong. I'm gonna learn from it, but I didn't even take a loss, right? But you can see it makes sense why this happened. We had a true day open right here. True session open. Okay, bro. Then we had high resistant liquidity here. Gary, if you disagree with my bias, that's why you have your own brain and you can do your own analysis, right? You can figure out what you think. It's all just looking at understand from, like, everyone has a different perspective. You gotta you gotta look at the chart and do what makes sense to you. Eh, I'm still eventually, I don't know, man. I'm still eventually thinking we'll go lower on Enkidu. I don't know. But yeah, you can see how this ended up playing out, right? We had very obvious high resistant liquidity. Every single time we push into it, people think it's low resistance. It's not low resistance. It's actually high resistance. And then we take both of our true opens. Pretty obvious AMD here. And then we actually had, was this SMT? Yeah, we had SMT here. This is cool. We have SMT, so it makes a lot of sense. Why this happened. We had SMT with this low. And then you can see we actually had a rejection block with this SMT. So yeah, I was wrong. And you know what? I'm going to keep trying to get better. I'm not a perfect trader. If anything, I'm very, very far from perfect. I'm very, very far from perfect. But it's all a learning process, right? This actually was a 90-minute SMT. You know what? Every single time I'm wrong, it always makes so much sense. It always makes so much sense. Look at this. 90-minute SMT. Right? Very, very obvious AMD. Like, very, very obvious AMD. I mean, this is very, very obvious AMD. Because you're never... that's part of trading, is you are going to be wrong a lot. If the reality is... what makes trading possible is being wrong itself. If you weren't ever wrong, then it would the stop loss is what changes you from a gambler to a trader, right? Because if you have risk management, you're going to outperform someone who doesn't have risk management, right? As long as you trade okay. That's just logic. Alright, where's the 90-minute SMT? There we go. So you can see this was 90-minute SMT, and then you can see as well we have a 1-minute rejection block right there. So that's a Phoenix model. Note how we're below both of the true opens. Beautiful. Just beautiful. So yeah, we're below 7:30. We're below midnight. This is a 1 minute rejection block. Yeah, it's always possible, but yeah, like, it's always scary to be shorting all-time highs. Look at this, though, right? You see this 1 minute rejection block with time-based SMT? We were below. Yeah, at this point, I'd be very careful with shorting because clearly, when the market, a lot of time when the market ends up being bullish, it just needs to go back to all-time highs. And it needs to let it off steam. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's very unrealistic at this point that we don't go back to all-time highs. So I wouldn't mess with shorting. I mean, that's just, I don't know. That's just from what I've seen from my experience. I could easily be wrong. But yeah, look at this, right? In hindsight, this was obvious. You're going to get a 22R. Dang, bro. That's crazy. Yeah. Guys, it's all just a learning process, one day at a time. Look at this, dude. Look at this rejection block. Like I said, guys, I didn't even take a loss today. I don't even feel bad. Imagine you took this, bro. Honestly, guys, so much of the time when we're at all-time highs, you just gotta take a trade back up to all-time highs. Yeah, it is. 4-hour rejection incoming. Really, I'm gonna stop listening to music. I need to focus. Ugh. But yeah, man. It's so much easier to look at trades in hindsight. I gotta really get better at forward testing. Oh my gosh, just look at this, man. Just one of these days we're gonna catch something like this, and you know how crazy it's gonna be. So the reason this is such a high probability Phoenix model, guys. Two reasons why this is super high probability. Three reasons. We have this rejection block is perfectly aligned with this high resistant liquidity curve. So people gonna be longing against this. I mean, people gonna be shorting against this, right? We have a time-based SMT with this 1 minute rejection block into the high resistance liquidity. We're fading everyone else. Bang. We go back up. And then what was this, guys? What was this? We actually have a propulsion block on the 1 minute. Propulsion block right here. Bang. Like, Gary, from what you were saying earlier, like, you got to get better at your bias, bro. I'm never gonna be perfect, and the more you try and be perfect, the more you're going to do dumb things. I'm never gonna be perfect. I don't feel bad about having wrong bias. I'm proud of myself for trying my best, and I'm never gonna be perfect. So I don't know. I get what you're saying, like, yeah, you gotta fix that, but at the end of the day, like, you do have to trust your instincts, and your instincts are gonna naturally get better with time. Over time, I'm gonna realize I'm gonna get better and say, oh yeah, this is not bearish. Actually, this is bullish because this is not low resistance. This is high resistance, and then it all becomes natural. At the end of the day, trusting your instincts, I think that's the best way to go about it. You know, not necessarily instincts, but trusting your bias. But yeah, nice little order block, propulsion block action below 730. You can see how it's just like, this was just literally just like a explosion. This is an explosion. Nice little 2022 gap as well. Yeah, crazy. We dumping higher. Guess we will not go lower until market maker buy model is complete. Yeah, I don't think we're gonna go lower until we go back to all-time highs, because, I mean, when do you guys ever see a buy model that gets created at all-time highs and doesn't go back to all-time highs. Like, never happens. It's really rare. Like, at this point, we're very likely to go back to all-time highs. And the one way that wouldn't happen is if we had an SMT with a rejection block. Also, we had a 2 suspension block. Just showed IC said, good, son. What would your guardian fly angel say? Bro, that thing was a demon, and that thing is dead, bro. That fly is dead. It's very, very dead. It's gone. So, what is a suspension block, Shani? What even is a suspension block, bro? What even is that? Isn't that the vulture gap? Isn't it the same thing as a vulture gap that Kirk and I made up? This right here. Is this suspension block? Volume imbalance. Alright. I don't know, guys. This is just... I can tell that at this point I'm not going to get a trade, so I don't know. It is what it is. Like I said, it is what it is. I could tell I'm not going to get a trade, so I'm going to just probably go walk around and chill, so... But yeah, like I said, like, so much of trading, guys, is literally just watching price. Like, I'd probably trade way better laying in bed during London session because I can just sit there and just wait and then, like, oh, yeah, this is obviously a XXX model, whatever, and then I execute. A vulture, it's when you have a volume balance at the top. Wait, at the top and bottom? It's when you have a volume balance on the top and the bottom of a fair value gap. Oh, I see. So it's like this. Dang, man, suspension block sounds kind of rare. Like, how often do we get a suspension block anyway? I'm drawing it out. So basically 2 volume imbalances. But you know what that means, full for. But how do you trade it? How do you trade it? That's Shady, bro. You're making you make me laugh so much, bro. Oh my. So like this. So like we have 2 volume balances, one here. One here. Let's just make this smaller just for kicks. And because there's 2 volume imbalances, this whole thing is a suspension block. Is that right? Is this right? Yes, that's it. But you can have wicks in the center like the FVG. Oh, no way. I kind of see what you're saying. So you could say It could be like this and this. So there's no fair value gap, and this is still a suspension block. Ah, I see. Hmm. Bro, this thing is cracked. This is like enchanting a fair value gap in mine. Like if Minecraft enchantments were on fair value gaps, this would be an enchanted fair value gap. That's what this is. This is a Minecraft enchanted fair value gap. Oh my, this is clean, bro. This thing has got um efficiency 5 on it. Alright, screenshot that for your books. Where was the suspension block anyway? Oh yeah, bro. He's so gatekeeping. This is why though, Shaney, this is why you don't trust ICT and you learn from the markets themselves. Like eventually, like at some point I would have probably figured out about suspension block because I would have observed it in price action. You know what I'm saying? It's just something that like you can't just trust ICT to tell you the truth all the time. A lot of time he's gonna gatekeep, so you kind of have to figure out and read between the lines. But yeah, where was the suspension block though? This is a suspension block, right there. Oh my gosh, I see it! Holy crap! This thing is crazy, dude. Oh my gosh. I honestly want to end the stream right here. This is sick. What a powerful concept, bro. Oh my gosh. What a cool concept. This is crazy. That's kind of cool. This thing is cracked. Alright. I don't know, man. I feel like we're kind of just done at this point. Yeah, I'm gonna go on a walk. Oh wow, we're actually moving lower. So guys, still though, like I don't care that we're moving lower. Is there AMD? Is there AMD right now? No. Like we kind of ruined. The AMD got ruined. It was AMD to the upside. So I mean, it's not AMD anymore. This is not AMD to the. This is obviously just. I don't know. There's just no AMD anymore. I don't even see it. So I don't want to even do anything. The key is AMD, and if they're not seeing anything, then we had a 4-hour BPR. That's a big reason for why the market did reverse here. Yeah. And we banged into that 15-minute change in state. But I think we'll continue up to all-time highs. We had a 1-hour gap as well. And then a 5-minute change in state here. So yeah, I'm probably just gonna tape read this, but we'll probably, continue higher here. Not something that I like, that I want to take. So Shaney, you actually get 22R. That's insane. Oh, let's go. There's 9 watching. It's a lot. But yeah, suspension block. That's a cool concept, guys. I really like it. There might even be a 15-minute suspension block here. Use a 30-minute for value gap. This thing. We actually have a reclaimed one right here. It's a 30-minute reclaimed gap. We use it once, twice. And then yeah, the second time we used this, just obviously we continued higher. So yeah, reclaimed once, used once, then reclaimed, and then continued. That's crazy. Yeah, well, we're gonna go back to all-time high. Clearly, I don't know. I'm not really a fan of it. Day's not over. Read the 4-hour power of 3. Yeah. I mean, yeah, we're going to all-time highs. Open low, and then we're obviously continuing to all-time highs. That's the 6-hour. Oh, here. Oh, never mind. You see the 4-hour. Oh. Yeah, there's not even a bottom wick on this thing. So we probably need to go down and create the bottom wick. Good point, Kirk. So this is where we would create the bottom wick. So I'd probably want to see us AMD up. Yeah, this is a good point, Kirk. If we accumulate, make a bottom wick, and then distribute, that would make me want to take a long. Hmm. Nice, nice. Bro, I feel like this is just obviously we're going back to all time highs. So I feel like I just can't short here. I think more likely at this point we're expanding to all time highs. So my guess is to play the 4 hour. Yeah, but I don't. I sh- I like. What do you mean like a continuation model? I mean, all my models are all just it's all the market is AMD, like continuation in AMD, like everything is just AMD. So I mean, I don't know, like continuation model is still just AMD. It just kind of depends on how you frame it. So yeah, we're getting an inversion. I don't care, man. I want to see this bottom wicket created and yeah, man. I'm not a super big fan of anything here. Ugh. I think yeah. I don't know. I feel like Dodgy's crying. Oh my gosh. Kirk, I don't want to force anything. This is the type of conditions where I don't like trading. Like I don't like trading trying to chase back up to all-time highs. I like conditions like this where we actually had AMD. We actually obviously had accumulation, manipulation, distribution. This to me was the opportunity. I thought we were going to continue lower though, but I should have been more aware of the fact that we had that this was going to be high resistance. So, you got to be more aware of that. I might actually go get some breakfast. I'm kind of hungry. Let me know if you guys see anything, but I'm probably just going to chill out, dude. I don't want to. For me, this is just such a long term thing that I don't need to. Like, this is not conditions that I even want to look at, so. We're forming a tiny bearish S&T that probably honestly means nothing. Because the market's so bullish. I'm gonna get something to eat. I don't know. I might be gone for a while, guys. I'm not even gonna lie. I'm gonna be watching on my phone. If I see anything, I'm gonna comment in the chat. But I'm gonna get something to eat. Alright, guys. A lot of interesting stuff. A lot of interesting stuff going on right now. We got the bottom wick of that 4-hour candle is now in. You can see that that is the case right here. 4-hour bottom wick got created. And it looks on the low time frame like AMD. Now, even if this does become high resistance, we are still not even close to it. So we did just get a 2-minute inversion. Kind of looks clean. Let's see. I'm trying to figure out. So we have a 15-minute implied gap here. We just wicked into it. We have a partial 90-minute SMT. If you guys want to take this inversion, feel free. So this is a partial 90-minute SMT. I'm probably going to take the change in state if we get it. And maybe let's target 1-to-1. Yeah, partial 90-minute SMT. Percent. I also actually might just wait for let's see. I could have just taken this, dude. You know what? 1.6. Oh, I should have just taken it, bro. I was gonna take it. Dang it. It's okay. I'm just trying to be chill right now. I'm trying to not get ahead of myself right now. The 3-minute inversion was nice. I think it's always better safe than sorry, guys. That's why. Always better safe. Who knows? Maybe we come down and sweep the low again, right? This is why I be conservative, because I don't know for sure. I don't know. I'd rather be conservative. We could end up sweeping the low again. 10.52 was the true open. So you can see, look at that. Look at the way we take out that true open. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. So now, 10.52 was that 90-minute true open. Alright, see now, this is where I'm liking this for value gap. Alright, 90-minute SMT with this low. We have a nice break of structure. 15-minute gap here. The main thing is, when I take a trade, will it be aligned with something I've backtested? That's the main thing. That's the main thing. I kind of want to see 22-minute SMT. I'm not even going to lie, guys. Like, for instance, right? We already have a partial 90-minute cycle SMT. I'd be very interested to see us come down, and then maybe imagine if we take this low again. If we take this low again, dude, I'll probably take this as Dark Phoenix, because it's just too good. It's too good. But I'm being cautious. So what would happen if we came down, took this low, is I'd probably assume S&P would not take the low. Once again, I don't know if we will. But like, I mean, this would be kind of clean. I'm not saying we're going to get it. Once again, guys, if that inversion was good enough according to you, then take it by all means. I just want to take something that I love. It was good though. It was good. So like, yeah, I'm a little precautious. I really don't care. I hate losing. Maybe what I would do is I wait for this inducement and then I'd take a change of state out of it. You can see we have a, not necessarily inducement. This would just be manipulation at this point. Once again, this could be high resistant right now, right? Being extremely careful. I wish we had 730. We do not. 730 is all the way down there. Kind of feel like this is going to be high resistance right now. Meaning then, if we came down... Okay, theoretically, let's just play this out, right? We have... Let's look at this. A fair value gap down there. Man... Yeah, it's not in the fair value gap partition even. Let's turn this down to dealing range. Maybe then. If this fair value gap was in the fair value gap partition, then that would be nice. Like I said, it's not. 1 hour for value gap work. Yeah. We haven't even... There's a 1 hour gap there. Guys, you have to understand, like, I hate losing. And even if an inversion might work, I'm not just going to take it. I'm going to wait till I ideally have a whole entire model framed with a sniper entry, and then I'll take something if that happens. Right now we have a nice accumulation. That's all I'll say. I don't know. Right? It's a nice 15-minute gap here. A 15-minute implied. This is what I was talking about. Good job, Neo. What do you mean I can't hate losing? Of course I can hate losing. I can hate the losing because then I don't want to take a loss. But it's different than not being accepting of losses. I can hate losing. That's totally fine. No one should want to lose. But I have to be accepting of losses. Exactly. But that doesn't mean that I don't hate them. Obviously I hate them. But I'm accepting. If I do take a loss, I'm accepting and I learn. That's the difference, right? But if you don't hate losses, that's an issue because then you're never going to be super, super picky. And then if you're not super, super picky, you're going to keep taking losses. That's the issue, right? So I kind of want to see this continue to be high resistance. The best scenario for me, my ultimate dream scenario, is another purge of this low. But I don't think that necessarily is going to happen. I think what could happen is we use this gap, like something like this. We might use the change in state here, and that could be a possible trade as well. It's also possible that we just go higher here. But if that happens, then I probably won't take a trade. So right now we have a partial 90-minute SMT. I want to see 22-minute SMT, but I still feel like this could be high resistance in the short term. Like, once again, I would think this would be so high probability if, for instance, let's say we reject this, purge this low, and then inversion back up. Actually, you know what I would prefer? I think this was manipulation, right? I think we got the manipulation. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Okay, I think I'm gonna just be realistic for a second. I think we got manipulation. We took the true open. Nice. Bro, we actually could go higher here, but once again, if that does occur, I'm just chilling. I'm not necessarily upset. I'm not angry. I'm just saying wasn't worth it for me. And that's fine. But yeah, like I said, like if we came down, purged this low, which now I don't know if it's that likely, but if we did, come down, purge this low, and then inverse back to the upside, like this, I don't know if it's that likely anymore. We are getting a bearish SMT with ES now. And it's a 90-minute SMT too. Okay, so we actually might definitely reject this. We have a high resistant liquidity curve. And now we got a 90-minute bearish SMT. So this one was a partial SMT. This one's a real 90-minute SMT. Something to consider. So, once again, we don't really have a true session open to work with. Have we taken this high? So this could be inducement. Yeah, we might go higher, but man, I'm not ready to take a long yet. I would want to see us. You know what? Like, what would I know that would for sure work? What would I be so confident in working? What I'd be so confident in working is if one of these two scenarios happens. Come down, sweep of the low, and then inversion back up. This is scenario one. I'd be very, very confident in this because Now we've generated all this for so long that this is probably going to work. So that's scenario 1. Scenario 2, I think less likely. What up, Simon? Less likely is maybe we come down and purge the low one more time and then inverse. And that would also be valid. Like, I'd like to see that, but once again, I think that's a lot less likely. But, you know, another possibility, though, is we do end up rejecting this high resistant liquidity. Maybe this is high resistant liquidity right now, right? Which means if we came above this high, it could be inducement. Did I say what up, Simon? What up, Simon? So, something to consider. Not necessarily saying it's going to happen because, once again, high time frame's bullish. It's obviously a power of 3 right now. Obviously, it's a bullish power of 3. That's why I'm not doing anything. But I'm not ready to get in on the bullish power of 3 yet, and I'm not ready to, and I do not want to short because it's a bullish power of 3, so I'm doing nothing. So honestly, yeah, we could end up rejecting this. High resistant liquidity. Though well jealous of 35C Sunny. What's that? Okay, so this 15-second change in state, watch this. This looks pretty strong. And then, you know, targeting this. This is probably going to work. I'd actually be pretty surprised if it didn't at this point, because this is a nice displacement. Kirk, what? why are we flies right now? Oh, my 35-degree. And it's not quite that cold yet. But yeah, you could definitely trail stop here, just see how far it runs. We might end up running down there. Once again, bullish 4-hour power of 3. I don't want to take a 15-second change in state to the downside. But yeah, this, we'll just have to see here. Not necessarily saying this is a high probability trade, especially because now at this point, if we came back up now, it'd probably be bullish. So I'd definitely, yeah, maybe take profit there. I don't know. But what I'm trying to get at is I'm waiting for eventually a long back higher, eventually, because this high resistant liquidity isn't going to be high resistant forever. It's eventually going to be low resistant, and once it becomes low resistant, I want to be in on that. So yeah, that was inducement. We're going lower. So yeah, I'm never going to be perfect, but that was a nice inducement, right? So you could definitely have taken profit at 1-to-1 on that. Perfectly fine to do. Look at the way, by the way. Just observe the way it's high resistant liquidity, and then the way we pop above it. That is a very, very common thing that's gonna occur. Is you're gonna like pop above, inducing an old high with an SMT, and it's gonna just deliver lower right away. So once again, I'm kind of waiting for us to come back down here. Um, True Open has already been taken, so this, I mean, this very well could be the manipulation of the cycle. So yeah, you can see how that rejected price there. Alright, let's get rid of this now because at this point, this inducement is not going to be... if we come back up at this point, this is going to be bullish. Show my clock. Right now it's 9:20. No, not 9:20. 11:20 Eastern, but it's 9:20. Alright, so... yeah, this could end up delivering us higher, this 1 minute inversion. 2 minute inversion. You could take it. I'm just not gonna take it. I don't want to I don't know. It's pretty good. I just don't know. My YouTube stream clock. I don't understand. How do I look at how do I show you that? Oh. I don't know. I like this inversion. If we get this, I'm just gonna take it. Depends though. If it comes with this wick, then probably not. Okay, bang. Entered that.
Order filled.
Okay, I'm in. I'm in, by the way. So stop loss is gonna go at the low of that candle there. And then I'll go break even once we tap that high. So like this. There we go. Break even. Bang. So I'm just going to put a trailing stop in on personal. And then on the rest, I'm going to go break even. So I'm break even now. Okay, how do I put in... Okay, I'm putting trailing stop in on personal. Bet. Alright. So we'll see how far this runs. Thanks. So yeah, just so you guys can see, I'm in this. I'll probably just shoot for 2-1, and then I'll be done. You're getting that 22R? Holy. Alright guys, I'm gonna close some of them on Top Step. So I'm gonna do I'm gonna do 16.
Order filled.
Actually, let's just go off here on Top Step. We don't need to be $1 million trade right now. We're fine.
Order filled.
Okay, I'm out on Top Step. And I'm out on personal too. I'm done. I'm out. GG's. W trade. W trade, baby. And that's how we do it. That's how we do it. Done for the day. Whew. Clean as heck. Clean as heck. Clean as heck. That was 2.4R. W's in the chat. Whew. Man, that was good. That was good. W's in the chat. That was so clean, guys. That was a dodgy special right there. That was a dodgy special. Nah, I'm not rich. I ain't not rich, dude. Very much not rich. But we move on. We keep going. We keep going. We keep showing up day after day after day. After day after day. And we don't stop. Time to journal. Time to journal. I'm gonna watch me back the pre-trade analysis. That's what I love. Clean setups. Who needs Jaji, bro? OP. Alright, guys. Time to back test. Time to journal this. And yeah. Alright. Let's journal, and then we will be done. That, man, been a while since we've had a clean day like that, dude. 2.4 hour. That's fire. We've been calling trades, but I haven't been taking them, bro. Finally. So, what was the return right on that? That's 240% because it's a 2.4 hour. Now, I did slightly miscalculate it, but that's only because I'm getting used to the new version of how I'm calculating the risk, because I switched it up because yeah, so I accidentally only did 1 point. Yeah, so what I meant to do, I should have done 40 cons on Top Step. I did 28. That was on the 15 second. No, bro. That was on the 2 minute. No, it wasn't on the 15 second. It was on the 2 minute. See? Inversion for value gap. You could have taken this as a Jan entry. You would have gotten even better RR, but yeah. But essentially, right, we had this whole entire model framed. That's why this was nice. We had SMT here, 15-minute gap, and then we were basically watching this to see when it was going to turn low resistance. We get this huge momentum candle against it. I can tell, okay, this is not going to be low resistance. This is not going to be high resistance anymore after we got this candle. Yeah, I was just observing price action. The before that, that wasn't the time frame I took the trade on. I was just observing yeah, I was just observing price action on the 15 second, but I took the trade that I took just now was on the 2 minute. See that? But yeah, price is fractal, so I don't really care if I'm looking at 15 second or the 1 minute, whatever, right? It's all just a different perspective on the same thing. So, yeah. It piqued your interest? Yeah, man. Yeah, watch it back. See what I was looking at. But yeah, this was a 90-minute partial SMT. We had a manipulation of this low. This was also where the 4-hour candle opened, right? That was another confluence as well that we would need to come down and take that because, 4-hour power of 3, we need to take the opening price of that candle. So this was the 4-hour open. Jake, you are hacker. Bro, I'm just trying my best. I'm not a hacker. I'm not perfect either. I'm a hacker. Oh my gosh. You're too nice to me. So this is the 4-hour open. And yeah, so let's show how this was a buy model, right? High resistant liquidity turned low resistant when we got this 2-minute inversion. I was like, right as soon as we got that, I was like, okay, this is obvious we're going to go higher. And honestly, guys, I could have taken this as a Jan entry, meaning we get the inversion and I wait for a retrace. What I did was fine, though. But theoretically, if I entered on a Jan entry, this would have been 4R instead of 2R, which would have been crazy. Meaning, what is Jan entry? So you guys just so you know. It's when we get an inversion for VIGAP, but I don't enter right on the close. I wait for a little bit of a retrace. That's Jan entry, and the model's still valid. We haven't got stopped out, so you're basically just getting in for higher RR. That's what it is. See what I'm saying, though? Like, once we got this inversion, I knew that this wasn't going to be high resistance anymore, that we were going to have this be low resistance. So accumulation, manipulation. Here, let's actually. World Octopus Day. What the heck? So nice little 15-minute, 1-minute buy model here. So this was 10/8 Wednesday. $11.20 inversion for VIGAP. 2-minute live number 1. Okay. So what time was this? It was 11:20. So it's also going into the Hydra Macro, which is an amazing confluence as well. Whoops. So this was simply all off at 2.4R. That was it. That was the trade. Honestly, we can get rid of this line. It's so pointless. Dude, I'm impressed. What? I mean, I'm just trying my best, bro. Um, I'm very imperfect. Just trying my best. So let's journal this. So this was an amazing trade. We had a 4-hour power of 3 to the upside. The market was obviously drawing to all-time highs, so I saw that we came down and formed the bottom wick of the 4-hour candle after accumulating for a bit. When this happened, we got a partial 90-minute S&T and took our the 1052 true open and got manipulation there. From here, I could tell we were in a buy model. We had high resistance liquidity, and I was patiently waiting for it to be obvious that it was to turn low resistant. When we got an amazing momentum candle inversing the 2-minute gap after a sweep, I knew that high resistant liquidity was now low resistance and was ready to go higher, so I took the 2-minute IPG. Yeah, man. Like, we were very patiently waiting for that 4-hour bottom wick. No, I didn't, bro. No, I didn't. It was a Hydra macro. 1120 to 1140. This is not outside the macro. This is actually perfectly right on time with the macro, actually. Look what time this happened at. 11:21. Actually, yeah, 11:21, dude. So the 2-minute closed right at 11 when that 11:21 candle closed. So this was right at 11:22. We were going into the Hydra macro. That was exactly when I would expect this trade to occur. So no, it was not outside the macro. Yes, I used the Hydra macros. 20 to 40 Hydra macros. Yeah, bro. So we should also include that in our notes as well. $11:20 to $11:40. That was the hour, right? 11:20. Yeah, 11:20 to 11:40. I know you're not streaming FOMC today, but will you be trading it? So yeah, theoretically I'm allowed to trade it. And also with my new rules, technically, I can take more trades in other sessions. They just have to be in half risk. But yeah, so according to my rules, this is the way that my rules work for trades. I have unlimited break-evens and wins, so theoretically I can keep going in New York session, but I'm going to be done, right, because that was an amazing trade. And then I have specific accounts for other sessions, and they're all on half risk. So I have a half risk account for London, Asia, if I see something, a half risk account for a second trade in New York or PM, and that's just the way I'm doing it now. Because I think as long as I get a complete reset, it should be good. Then trades in New York, they're full risk, copy traded across everything. What's Hydra Macro? First, let me finish answering Snowman. So, if I see something, if there's something obvious, I'm maybe, but I'm not necessarily looking for anything because I'm very content with this trade. So, yeah. So every hour, watch my video on macros. Watch this video. I explain it. Here, let me show you. Bro, TGR's been banking lately. Kind of impressive. Let's go 10 watching. That's crazy. Okay, guys. So Hydra macros. Watch this video. I made it 6 videos ago. Hydra macros, or just I explain all the different macros. Or not. I actually don't explain all the macros, but I explain what you're asking about in this video. Yeah. So that's the normal macro, and then every 20 until 40. It's a hit, like there's a macro. It's not many people know about it. From according to my once again, do it make sense according to your back testing? According to my back testing, they're definitely real. The 20 to 40 between every hour, and makes sense to me because that's when the 30-minute candle opens and closes. So once again, you're gonna have to back test that for yourself. Figure out if that makes sense to you, because you don't want to take anyone else's word for it. But okay, let's keep back testing. Watch this video though. Okay, I mean not back testing, finishing the journal entry. And then we'll take another screenshot of the lower time frame. Yeah, man, this was clean. This was really clean. Here, let's actually mark this as 2 minute. And then we'll post it on Twitter. Yeah, we are getting pretty close to all-time highs. It's pretty cool. Dang, thanks guys. I really appreciate it. Yes, sir. There's always an open and close pullbacks at 1 hour, 30-minute every time frame. Exactly. That's why the Hydra macros make sense. Is because there's a 30-minute candle that opens and closes as well, and so that's going to be between 20 and 40. So 11:20 IPG 2-minute live number 2. All right, let's go ahead and let's add this. Keep clicking on buttons. I'm not meaning to. Let's add this. So we got this in the journal. Let's add this to my Google Drive, and then I'll copy and paste it in, and then yeah. Man, Dodgy should have just waited for this 2 minute. It's like I was looking at some Twitter. I think Dodgy took a loss today, but I don't know. I could be wrong. I don't know. What I loved about it was zero drawdown. That's not true, bro. There was drawdown. You guys, there was drawdown. Right, we got the 2 minute inversion. I entered on the close. I probably entered just slightly after the close. We drew down to here, and then we went up. But this was within expectations because, I was expecting a possible Jan entry. If I took the Jan entry, meaning I enter on a retrace, then it would have been like 4R. But I took it on the close, so I took it like this. So it's like 2.4R. I took it a little bit after the close. Bang. Yeah, so it wasn't zero drawdown, but I appreciate the love. Do you also offer a mentorship? Yeah, it's free. Just talk to me on Discord. And I'll just help you for free. Because every single other person in the world charges stuff, and I just want to help people. So, yep. Okay, let's see. So, the file here. Yeah, and I also called the inducement right before that about why we were going to reject that initial move higher, and then why we ended up running it later on. That was kind of cool. But yeah, if you want help, just message me on Discord, and I'll respond to everyone. So, that's yesterday. You're still in, Shaney? Bro. That's crazy. Yeah, I mean, that's true. That's true. You have a good point, bro. That was pretty good. The fact that it went up super fast. Alright. So we now have this in here. Let's go put this in Reflect IQ, and then we'll put it on Twitter, and then we'll record it on Twitter, because I'm trying to post every single trade I take on Twitter. And then, yeah. Why are you saving it? For my own personal record. This is right now. I'm just journaling. So this was 2.4 R. So 2.4 R times 200, which is my standard risk. Holy Shaney, dude. 2.4 times 200. Okay, 480. Alright, bang. Notes. Copy the notes in. And then, yeah. And then let's put it on Twitter. But yeah, Legacy of War, you always want to journal everything so you can have a record of it and learn from it. Shaney, so Shaney, when I take a trade, I standardize it because I take it across different accounts. So that's why when I say okay, 1 micro on personal, 10 micros of my standard size, 20 micros on Top Step, it's because I'm converting it. Standard size is basically I risk on my I'm trying to have it like standardized. So if I convert all my accounts back into a standard size, it'd be 200. That's why, because it's not. This is just based off of if I were to standardize my size across all my accounts. That's why. Dude, what does the AI engine does for you? Analyze your trades? Yeah, it can give you feedback on your trades. It's pretty cool. It's Reflect IQ, and I'm friends with the founder, so yeah, it's pretty cool. Yeah, you understand. Yeah. Okay. So let's go ahead and post this, and then let's just put the notes in, and then I'm gonna end the stream because this has been going way longer than normal. Um, it's just specifically made for trading. My people, I know the guys that made it. I just like it and I want to support them. So, yeah. And it's free. Yeah, it is, Shaney. uh, Here, I'm gonna read. That's pretty sweet. Thanks, bro. Appreciate it. All right, there we go. Let's go ahead and post this. There we go. Bang. Oh, let's put it at the end. Wait, is taken the right word? Wait, is it taken or took? I'm actually. This is so. Oh my gosh. Let's go back. Hang on. That's ChatGPT. All right, taken is the right choice. All right, guys, that's gonna be it for this. That's gonna be it for this stream. Hopefully you guys enjoyed, and that was a pretty clean trade. So very happy with today. But as always, we just gotta stay disciplined and keep showing up, and not really care about the result. So with that, guys, thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one. Yeah, peace out.